Hello, hello, happy Friday. Welcome to our Friday Witchy Hangout. We do this every single Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're so glad to have you. Sorry, I don't know why I'm being weird. Hi, Catherine. Thank you so much for the super chat. Okay, so today we are doing a really interesting topic. Well, I think it's interesting. Fact or fantasy. And I don't exactly know how I'm going to approach this. I'm trying to kind of parse through a certain situation that might be on your mind that maybe you're confused about, like what is fact, what is fantasy. Just try to help parse through a little bit, keeping in mind that I am reading for a lot of people. I like the imagery of tweezers. Like tweezers have like the two sides, and you go in there in order to like get at a very like the root of a hair, right? But it's like the one side and the other side. And that's my version of reading the tarot. Is I feel like I can kind of get you some of the way there, and then you with like your intuition, your knowledge of the situation, and feeling out what's right for you, like you can get the other way to there, and then maybe we can kind of narrow into the truth and what's actually going on. And so this reading, I feel like, is just a very specific way of going about doing that. So I'm really excited to kind of peel back the veil and see what comes through here in each one of these readings. So we don't have any anchor card today. I know some people like to see the anchor card, but instead I do just want to show, I feel like this is the energy that's kind of anchoring the reading. This is just a picture of Shiv, and look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I think that's very beautiful. So I'm literally hearing like this, like the divine is really intending to answer your prayers in some of this. I think some of you have been very diligent, like spiritual practitioners. You've really been connecting with like a genuine place, and she just looks so calm to me. I don't know if this is intended to be like Parvati or just very calm, very genuine, very peaceful. I just feel like you're really being assisted here, like by the divine heavily. So I'm just interested what's planning on coming through here in this reading. So getting into our piles, we have pile number 1, which is the vow. Hi, baby. That's Soul. That's my little boy cat. The sunshine. Oh, clarity. The vow. The second one is the village. Hi, baby. Hi. And the third one is the queen. Oh, Noor said the Saturn pendant is out. Yes. And with Shiva and Parvati as like the anchor card, she says, is this a soul partner read then? It very well could be. Let's see. Okay, so I'll hold all of them up together. Pile number 1 is on this side. Pile number 2 is in the middle. And pile number 3 is on this side. So do your thing here with these cards. Close your eyes. Put your hands over your heart. Center your energy. Take a couple full deep breaths here. Allow the worries and the stress of the day or the week or the month or the year or the lifetime, honey. I don't know. Just let all of that fall away, fall to the ground. Connect with your heartbeat. You can connect to that purest part of your essence, of your energy, and a purity of intention. If you want, you can say a little prayer here that the truth prevails, that the truth comes out, and to let no egoic nonsense come up in the way. Whether it's yours, there's no need for your ego to protect you from the truth here. You're going in intentionally, and there's no need for anyone else's ego to interfere here. Just connect with that pure space. And once you have, you can open your eyes and allow yourself to be drawn in to whatever pile or multiple piles you feel most drawn to, keeping in mind that sometimes the way that you get drawn into a pile can be a clarifying message in and of itself. It can be just kind of following the energies. It can show you where, what you thought something was, and then, so just keep an eye on that. It can also reveal things about how your intuition is working through the situation, or how to connect with your intuition more deeply. If you find that you're consistently being drawn into like the wrong piles, but then you realize that your pile is a different one. All of this, everything that happens and unfolds here in this space, in my opinion, is for the highest vibrational good of all beings and meant to clarify and bring truth and to connect with the divine. So don't rule anything out. All right. Okay, I think Alex just walked out of the room here for a second. Okay, so do you see Nico's message? There's people with questions about their Patreon subscriptions. Okay, so I don't. Okay, so just pause really quick. We don't have an email right now, and we will talk about that because I have a stalker, you guys. Like, I have a serious, serious stalker. And so Patreon is a platform that hosts, and really anything to do with your subscriptions, there's not really much that I can do on my end. I'm sorry to hear that there's people who are having difficulty with their subscriptions. I also, again, have a stalker that I have blocked from multiple accounts. So it's hard for me to kind of suss out who's being genuine and who isn't. And I'm very protective of myself and my space. There really is no reason for anyone to need to get in touch with me over email. All the business that I do should be able to be done on Patreon, and I like that it's hosted by that like kind of third party authoritative like interference sort of a thing. So I understand that sometimes people do have issues with their Patreon, and I of course don't want them to. It's usually not something that I can help you with. If you are having trouble with your Patreon account, Patreon, this is why I go through Patreon, is because Patreon is the host server. So we can try and figure out maybe what's going on there. We'll talk about that. Nico, how do you know that there's people that have been having questions, like that there's multiple people? Are you having trouble? The gang stalkers, yeah. I don't know if it's a group of people or something, but there is someone who has been fixated on me for quite a while, and like they just have not gone away, and I don't know that they ever will go away. So I have had to really kind of change how I move through the world, and it is difficult, and I feel like that's kind of their intention, is to sabotage my ability to function, and not me. People talk about it in the Patreon chat. Have you heard that, babe?
Generally speaking, whenever there's any issues with that people are having with Patreon that are like posting about it in there, I tell them that they need to reach out to Patreon support, because there's really like you said, there's really nothing that we can do about that specifically.
Yeah. Because, I mean, and I hope this isn't coming off like we're just being inattentive, because there really is nothing that we can do. Like, I can't access, I mean, I can see certain things about your account, and insofar as like it's coming through here for me. But yeah, Patreon.
I'll take a look and see if I.
Yeah, so, and maybe we will just like set up a video or something here. Yeah. You try to answer the questions, but you don't know the answers. I mean, really, the only answer is that it's Patreon's platform. Yeah. Okay. So, even this, I feel like it's already kind of like derailed. This, not that, of course, like if there's issues, we need to have the issues, but basically all of my business is done through Patreon. Yeah, and that person, I'll just say this, because Lisa says the questions people ask in the Patreon chat don't make a lot of sense to me. That's one way that this stalker has tried to attack me in the past. And actually, because I called, like, we've interacted here, like, on the live stream, me and that stalker. And that's actually how I caught them, where I was like, you are changing your profiles, and you are trying to, like, they try to make me seem unprofessional, or they try to make me seem like I don't care. They try to make me seem a certain way, and they have used Patreon multiple times to try to do that. That's actually, I called them out. And much to my surprise, they admitted it. They admitted to doing that in the live stream. And like, just Patreon is just one way that they try to do it. And the Patreon things never really make sense to me either, because again, it's not me. And I can feel that somebody's trying to like kind of like that's the way that they try to get at me, is by making me seem unprofessional, or they try to get my contact information because they want to go around Patreon, but I intentionally have it set up that way, and I intentionally go through a third-party platform in order to protect myself from this like really bad nefarious energy that's been kind of trying to get at me. So I hope that you guys can bear with me through this, and I'll talk with Alex more after, because we talk about this, where he will always bring it up to me if somebody is saying that, and Alex is very tech savvy, and he's able to walk people through a lot of things. So
and also let me just say too that in particular, like what Nico is referring to is like some people will post and kind of like wonder why they can't see older videos beyond a couple months back, like some of the exclusive videos.
Yeah.
And that's because, like, if you actually read the description of the Patreon tier that you're in, it will explain that like for most of them, you don't have like unlimited access to all the back catalog because we've had issues of people coming in and basically like stealing your content and such. So
Yeah.
that's another kind of primary thing for people to keep in mind when they're
Yeah.
considering what issues they're having, because if it's not a technical issue with Patreon, it might just be a confusion over what's actually being offered and what isn't.
Yeah, and all that is updated. So just really quick, like we'll wrap this up and then we'll actually get into the reading. So on Patreon, like I do a crazy amount of content on Patreon. I've been told that multiple times by multiple people that like the amount of content that I produce, like for Patreon, it's not really normal, that like people are just meant to kind of want to support me on Patreon. That's a way for people to kind of do that. But because I produce so much evergreen content over there, it's really not fair for people to pay $5 and then have access to like 3 years worth of stuff. And we had issues with people kind of jumping in and out and kind of doing that. So you've got access to like the last 2 months or something. And then we've been talking about how to distribute some evergreen content here and there. So yeah, it's $5 a month and you get several extra readings and all of that we feel like is more than fair. So it doesn't mean that your Patreon's not working. I do have different tiers for like my OG subs. People have like supported me for a long period of time, and so long as they keep up their membership, they have access to every single thing that I do. And if it's something that you guys are interested in where you want access to the back catalog, we can maybe figure out ways to do that in a way that feels more fair, because people do support me on Patreon and they should get certain perks, and it's kind of not fair to me, at least, that people have supported me like all this way and then somebody can just pay $5 and get access to every single thing that they've kind of. And I know those people that support me probably don't care because they just want to support like what I do and everything. So yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not being taken advantage of. And I just hope that you guys can understand and just really see me with a clarity of vision and like with, and give me like, I just, somebody's trying to, I really care a lot about you guys. I care about the work that I do. I care about producing quality content, but I also care about like not being taken advantage of. And I'm just not going to open myself up to some kind of like attack. And I will always help to the extent that I can. That being the case, it's like to the extent that I can. So, okay. That answers the questions that you saw in there. Yeah, because I mean we get similar questions, and it's only happened kind of pretty recently too. So, all right. So
some people have noticed that this may actually be part of the message in the reading, kind of like stuff around this with boundaries and things like that.
Oh, boundaries, yeah. And yeah. Okay, so if you guys are finding relevance in your own life, like with boundaries and clarification and trying to figure out how to navigate like your own well-being and feeling, while also attending to the needs of the people around you or the world, maybe that's like a part of it here too. So I always like to say, the live streams are live streams for a reason. I'm producing a lot of content now for the channel. So if you're tuning into the live streams, it's a journey. It's a process. And I really do set an intention that everything that unfolds in this space is unfolding for the highest vibrational good of all beings and the highest vibrational good of all beings. So just, that's what we're doing. So it's a happy little accident, happy little detour. And now let's move on to our regularly scheduled programming. Okay. So, let us get into pile number 1. Oh, money paid me home. 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 Okay, so this is definitely a part of your spiritual path. Oh, money paid me home I've been singing that like so much as a chant. It is the beach sounds there. It's like kind of the journey, the path to enlightenment. And I feel like this is maybe a connection or a situation that has unfolded in stages. With the vow, I do feel like there might be a love connection here at the center of it. And it's like the lens through which you're looking at this connection has kind of shifted and changed over time. And I feel like that's a part of the truth. The fact that's coming through about this connection, because there's so many moving parts. There's there could be a lot of different people that are involved in this connection, honestly. Maybe people who are not revealing their own toxicity or like their own darkness. They're not like, there's kind of no light shed. I do feel like there's interference or there's like influence here in this connection, and it adds layers. It almost sounded to me like I almost said Adderall. So maybe there could be somebody here who like struggles with ADHD, or there could be some kind of like medication here. Maybe some of you have like noticed that you have different perspectives of this situation, like when you're taking certain medication and then like when you're not taking other medication. I don't know. Just take that however it's resonating, or somebody here could be on a medication that you're dealing with. But basically, this is kind of a convoluted situation, and I'm seeing a knot now. Like there's a karmic knot, and the knot is kind of like a part of the process. We went to the zoo here recently, and it's reminding me of like we saw this gorilla, and he was eating, and he would like pick up the straw, like the hay, and they had like put his food kind of in the hay, so we had to kind of like work to get the food, and it's like such a healthy part of the process for him to actually have to like work and sift through to get the food. So I'm hearing like the end of the means are one. The process that you go through is more the truth in this scenario than some kind of outcome or some kind of truth. So the truth in this situation, it's a fantasy to think that the truth in this situation is straightforward and that something here just fits nicely and neatly into a category. That's not the point of this connection. And I feel some of you think that that's what you need in order to be able to navigate through this connection well. And it's actually not. It's the processes. I'm like kind of connecting with that gorilla energy, and gorilla might be like a totem animal that you might want to look into, like what is its purpose. I'm kind of almost picturing a gargoyle energy too. So it's protecting you from something. The pace of it, the slowness through which it could be, like maybe it's protecting him from getting a little tummy ache, or it's, there's something here about the process and going through the process slowly. And I think there's something here about prioritizing the journey over the destination that may have been a lesson in other arenas of life. Wink, wink, nod, nod. So it's like the journey is just as pleasurable as getting to the destination, or if you put your focus actually on the journey, maybe the process is the point here on the back end. That's what it feels like, that spiritual kind of back end. So this has been like kind of convoluted, and I do feel like peace will reign supreme here. And I feel like you're kind of looking for land in this situation, and maybe you have felt, again, like you haven't had clarity. And not having clarity is the truth in this situation. So sometimes we like to get ahead of ourselves. Okay, so right here and now, like I'm hearing Eckhart Tolle in my head. To me, he's like a very strong voice that does a very good job of explaining this particular facet of life, where it's like, okay, well, the truth of the matter is that I don't have clarity right now. I've heard him talk somebody through this process, and it's like, okay, so what can you do now in order to get yourself more clarity? Well, I don't know. Okay, well, maybe just sit with it. That's clearly the only next step that you can take. So that's your purpose in this moment. That's what you're supposed to be doing. So can you meditate? Can you clear your mind and just see if things calm down, if you gain more clarity? Then what can you do to gain more clarity? You know what I'm saying? It's like, is there something that you can do to remove an obstacle? Maybe you can go ahead and do that now. But it's like one step and then another step. And just like you were untying a knot, and I'm kind of hearing like that eternal knot imagery, which is very much like a spiritual mythical symbol, or I'm hearing Celtic knot. Okay, so gorillas and Celtic knot, we're all over the place here. But you might want to look into those things as like a metaphor or a symbol. It might help you put together, but it's very much one step, two step, red step, blue step. It's like another, now do this, now do this. And it's about like kind of leading you on a journey. And it does feel like I'm hearing like out of the cave of wonders. I'm hearing like Abu in that it's like, uh-oh, because it's like touch only the lamp, touch nothing but the lamp. But so you also there's so much here to like kind of look around at, and there's so many different like facets to this. But the path is the purpose here. And I think if you focus on the path and the journey, you will have much more clarity, because I think you tell yourself you don't have clarity because you're not at the end yet. But life is an alchemy. Life is an unfolding process. And I think learning this so like clearly and with so much precision and adeptness, and also learning how to work with your own system, like your own system. How do you get to the truth? I feel like is a question that beckons this, especially when people are concerned, especially when there's a lot of people concerned, especially when people have different wants and desires and insecurities and fears. And, how do you get to the truth in that situation? It's a big question. And I'm hearing Ramana in the background, Ramana Maharshi, who is my teacher. And he always says like that question of like, who am I? So I feel like asking yourself, who am I in this situation? And I think maybe that is what's confusing you. So I think that's the jewel. Who am I? Who am I in this situation? There's a lot of mirrors here. And I do think like maybe the love interest is showing like some kind of mirror here, but like I'm just being drawn to all these moons in the background. So again, many moons, this is like many cycles. This to me feels like cycles within cycles, which is why things feel like so confusing and so convoluted. So I think you're telling yourself that you don't have the truth because you don't have the truth of like this ultimate situation. But Spirit's saying there are many lessons, there are many karmas, and there are many cycles here. And you actually do have more truths than you realize. And it's kind of just like closing down like the little cycles and kind of learning the littler lessons that lead to this kind of like ultimate truth, like, oh, you know, it's like to play the game of volleyball, you have to learn how to serve the ball, you have to learn how to defend the ball, and you have to learn how to spike the ball. You have to learn how to work together with other people. So it's like you have to learn all those things kind of individually, and then you can kind of like play the actual game and be able to show up in the game to like bring all of it together as a finished product. There's something like that's going on where it's like in stages and in layers. So actually Spirit is saying you hold quite a bit more truth. Tasha, thank you so much for the super chat. You hold quite a bit more truth in this situation than you realize. And it's part of the process to know what is post and what is what is solid, what you know for sure in the situation, and what you don't know for sure in the situation. And that's different than saying like what is fact and it's more like a theory, right? It's more like a hypothesis. Like the entire field of science only operates on theories. Like the things that we believe most, we understand inherently in that realm of society that it may change as we gather more information. That's not the same thing as believing in a fantasy or like some kind of delusion. And you might be wrong. You know, we used to think a lot of things that science has like now shown us, oh, well, okay, that's kind of true, but then it's this. And, you know, like there's so many examples of that. Thank you so much for the super chat. You know, so it's just trusting the process. This is a process. The truth is the process. And the process is the point, spiritually speaking. And so you could really only get caught up in the trap of like what's fact and what's fantasy if you don't understand that. So this is moving from like fixed oriented mindset to process oriented mindset. This is all about the process. And you've made a lot of progress if you've considered at all that you might be wrong in this situation and that you have to make room. You have to hold things like from this neutral perspective. All of this is so juicy on your spiritual journey, on your spiritual path. This is going to help you immensely on your spiritual path. So much more than having whatever outcome you think you might need to have in the situation. It's learning how to navigate this process is the entire point. And I am hearing like reunification here with God. Now, I do think there's a situation here that's on your mind in regards to like a certain other person and like some kind of like vow energy. And I am seeing like a certain dance going on here with like the masculine, feminine energies. And I really am talking about energies. So take this however it's resonating for your situation, because we all have masculine and feminine energies within us, right? I'm not talking about man or woman, although it might shake up that way in your own situation here. But I'm seeing like the female energy praying to God. And I'm seeing her have like a key in her hand here. And she's like holding the key like in her hand, like, where do I use this key? Or like, oh, she has the key all along. That's what it is. I think she's praying for a key, but it's like she has the key. And she just needs to know that she's had it. This is so Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, where it's like, you've never left Kansas all along. Well, if it's not in my own backyard, I guess I never really lost it to begin with. I'm hearing that. I feel like that's a major point here too. I never really lost it to begin with. Like, you didn't lose anything here. It's all within you. The universe is within you. I don't know. This is going to a place here in this reading. But yeah, I feel like this feminine energy has actually been put in a very difficult situation with a number of toxic people that are not necessarily showing their... They might not even be making themselves known. There's like a hiding energy. Tracy, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, thank you. And she was put in this situation. And honestly, now I'm drawn to the yellow of like the solar plexus. So that clarity equals confidence. That's what some of you are looking for, confidence. But I feel like this is something I'm hearing, like, anoint yourself, give yourself the confidence. You know what's going on here. You need intuition. I just heard intuition. Like, your intuition is telling you something's off. And there are like a number of people. And I feel like she was put through a crucible of sorts. And it was to bring her back to herself and to make her realize that actually she does have the key. And I'm just touched my Saturn. So, Saturn is authority and it's elder. I think she's actually the elder here. She's the authority, like in her own life. She is. And I feel like for some of you, that's the key. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm getting goosebumps. Like, that's the key. You are the authority in your own life, you know, and you are in charge of your experience, your own experience. Yeah. And so I think some of you feel like you need clarity in order to get confidence, to feel confident in the situation. But what if you were just allowed to make decisions? What if you didn't have to make sense? I think some of us as women feel like we have to run our decisions by other people. And sometimes we do, because a lot of people are bigger than us and they're scarier than us. And if we get a little too uppity, then a lot of people take that as a personal affront and they think that they are justified in ruining you. And some level of that might be going on here. But I do feel like you have divine protection, because now I'm seeing this, I feel like that key might have just unlocked something here where it's like, great, you no longer need that lesson. And so I'm seeing this bird like grow to like 10 times its size and actually blot out these like disturbing forces or something so that they can like no longer see you or interact with you here in this space. All this is about regaining a sense of self, agency, sovereignty, clarity. You are like your own clarity. And here's the thing. It's like when it comes to people that you allow in your life or people that you interact with, this is what I mean by you're the authority. Who cares? If you're wrong about them, who cares? You don't need to be right in order to tell them to exit your life. You don't. You can just simply say, I don't like you, and that's enough. You need to leave because I don't like you or I don't trust you. Nikki, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh my goodness. Dorothy had to harmonize her heart, mind, and courage to find home again. I love that this was your energetic example today. Big sync for me. Yes. She did. It was like the heart and the mind and the courage and all of that. And she was on the path, the yellow brick road, and she had to follow her slippers, follow her feet. And I'm seeing a pilgrimage card now. Again, in one of my cards, it's all coming full circle. I feel like this is so absolutely beautiful. But I do feel like it's like just about you saying like, I don't have to run my decisions by you. That's like a big part of it. Like, even if I am batshit crazy and I am completely wrong about you and your character or all your little nasty friends over there, I don't have to be right to tell you to exit my life. You do have to respect my decisions. There's a lot of mirroring that's going on in this situation because I do feel like kind of people don't want to respect you. This toxic group of people don't want to respect you for some reason. And that's a them issue. That's a them problem. And you shine a lot of light. I do feel like there's an attempt to maybe keep you from being seen here as well. There's to blot out the sun is what I'm hearing, to blot out the clarity. And the sun to me can be like an authority figure. It can have to do with philosophy. And they use numbers to do this. So they might fudge numbers on, there could be accusations going on here. This would be the truth part of this. There could be some fudging of numbers going on here to blot out the sun. An exaggeration of numbers or of some kind. And I don't know what arena this would, yeah. And again, but I think that they're ganging up. There's a ganging up. These are people that think if I can get 10 people to all say a lie, then it doesn't matter what the truth is. That's basically what this is, or there's somebody here like that. I do feel like there's a masculine energy that is involved. Masculine energy, so take this however. And I feel like this masculine wants access to you because I'm seeing him try to pull her hands apart to like get to her, but then the key's gonna fall out and it's like he wants the key. And then I'm seeing him walk over to a closet and be like, get in here. It's very Bluebeard, like Bluebeard seemed like a prince and he seemed, and it's like, get into this closet. But I feel like you've been praying about this and I feel like that I'm drawn to this again. Like there's such strong divine protection here in this energy. And I did just hear the word divine masculine. And honestly, there might be a divine masculine that is being called into the situation, being brought in. I just heard being brought into this situation. And I'm seeing he is the dove or this like symbol of peace. He is like this eagle I just heard, or like this bird of prey kind of thing. Eagle eye, divine masculine energy. This could be a part of you. Getting this up and running in you. Because some of you have been indoctrinated into some kind of, I just heard cult or group that tells you that you have to focus so much on being nice. And so because of that, you're not being eagle-eyed in terms of like the people that you have around you and the fact that they're gross and they don't deserve people to be nice to them. They need people to actually like, these are the kind of people, I just heard vampires. They prey on nicety. They prey on innocence and they think they can get away with it. So it's like you are taught to disarm yourself in some way. And so this is reversing that in some kind of capacity. Yeah, so let's just see what else is going on here. This is like this is an unfolding situation. Look, resurrect. Somebody here is trying to resurrect something with you. And that's you. And what do you want? Wish. Compare. Progress. I think I just heard, if I had one wish, we would be best friends. Love would never end. It would just begin. Progress and choose. Investigate. Yeah, compare. Somebody wants you to compare them and somebody else and initiate or compare them to who they used to be. Somebody's really trying to like reach out here and get into your energy. And they might be doing this like using some kind of vow or They want some kind of vow. Serve and protect. Serve and protect. Serve and protect. Wound. There could have been a vow broken here. Somebody took a vow to serve and protect you for like all time. And instead they were used to wound you, and they ignored their calling. That is a truth here. Somebody ignored their calling to serve and to commit. And instead they wanted to win, and you had to purge and take care of yourself. Okay. And I'm hearing that movie, The Purge, and I don't watch scary movies, but I know that I've watched like the Rick and Morty spoof of that. And I know that it's like, there's one day of the year where it's like, oh, anything goes. Like, you know, so maybe there was a day like that where it was like, well, anything goes. Ugh. What? The Purge?
That's just your nightmare in so many ways.
I know.
Like, beyond it being like a horror thriller movie, like, it's just so much not your thing.
I'm like, people should not just do what...
rules? Like, what the hell? Like, what? This isn't okay.
Listen, I would be totally fine in a scenario where they were like, and there are no rules. I would be completely fine. Like, I would do nothing wrong to anyone because it's just my heart. Like, I just don't want to. I don't want to cause you pain. I don't want you to cause... I don't want that. But there are crazy people. I think that's something you learned. I'm hearing the word batshit. Like, there's just like batshit crazy people, and I feel like that's maybe something you learned. And I'm just being drawn to like all this darkness here in the middle. Like, it was trying to wound your confidence. These all could have been like confidence artists too, because there's more than one. There's a group here, or like a particular confidence artist that wanted the key to something here. But they were trying to, get at your confidence, and they were trying. I don't know. They wanted to initiate something here, to ignite something, and numb. I saw the word numb. Okay. So basically this is a situation that just keeps unfolding, and it's all about the process here. So, and is this fact or is this fantasy? I think is a good question to ask yourself, like through the fact that you can question your own mind is sort of like the purpose of this, because I think you have people here that you're up against in some kind of way that they're not able to. They just justify their own actions. Their own motivations are a huge blind spot. If they question themselves at all, it's for a brief moment in time. You know, and I know that really in order to get to the heart of the matter, in order to get to the truth and really question yourself and observe your own mind, if your ego defense mechanisms are active, that's going to take you a minute to get to the bottom of it. So I think that's your first step to deciphering, like, is this truth or is this fantasy, is just being able to interact with your own mind in a way that is clarifying and a way, can you even get to the truth? Is something that I feel like you've had to ask yourself in this situation, because I think you were so focused on being nice and getting along and being cooperative that you failed to kind of do that some kind of preliminary filtration energy of like, wait a second, is everyone here sane and well-intentioned? Because they're not. They're not. And they tried to hide out in your blind spot here. And they tried, I'm hearing like, I come in peace. Yeah, they tried to use this like dove of peace, like I come in peace. Here, I'm like from the Bible, like the Noah story. It's not just from the Bible, it's from everywhere in the world. But it's like the dove that like lands, and they see mud on its little claw. So it's like, oh, there's dry land over here. Come over here. You're safe over here. But it's really that siren energy that's like trying to wreck your ship or, and make you go down. So yeah, there's spitefulness, like hatefulness. And they tried to hide in your blind spot. And your blind spot is peace. You know how disgusting that is? Somebody tried to use peace, your desire to be peaceful and good and cooperative, against you. That's what happened here. I'm going to let that sink in. That's the level you're dealing with of human being. Treachery. Sadism. This could be the 7 dwarfs of this fucked up group. Treachery, sadism, instead of like dopey and sleepy. Like, it's... Yeah, there's this... Oh, Snow White. There could be like Snow White, who's the fairest of them all. Like, there could be some level of Snow White symbolism here where maybe you thought you were waiting for true love's kiss, but really it was just treacherous and sadism and smelly and grifter and hobo and, like whatever. And they tried to act like they come in peace. And I think that this has been a hard lesson for you, that there are people that will oh so readily and without remorse use peace and love and cooperation as a shield to do their dark deeds. And there is a vow somehow, like in the middle of this. Somebody did vow to protect you. I just heard like savior, and they did not do that. Instead, they ignored. I heard like they cheated. They could have involved, again, other people in this situation, and that's the truth. The truth is that there's been sneaky energy, and you're right to know that there's been sneaky energy. Sad and sick for my restraint and generosity. The Snow White reference. Yeah. I do feel like these people have been cast out in some way of like the garden, because I'm seeing this now becoming like a periphery, and I'm seeing this black energy. Like this is your shadow. I feel like you having to dip into your shadow, because you in particular, if this is your pile one, the things that would be buried in your shadow are anything that where you have teeth and claws and night vision. Like I'm picturing like a big cat and like big cat energy. Because big cats, they are kind of like dominant predators, but they're so cute and they sleep all day. Like they really, I don't know. They kind of like to play with their food too. And I feel like you can tap into that energy. You've just not been doing it for the sake of getting along. You're the top predator here is what I'm getting. Like you are actually the apex predator. The only reason these people kind of get away with this is because you haven't been engaging that. And I'm not telling you to go after these people in a negative way, but you can more than defend yourself. You can more than defend yourself. And I feel like it's about connecting with that. And again, I'm hearing like that big cat energy. I'm hearing like now Touching the Jaguar. John Perkins. He wrote a book called Touching the Jaguar. He's like traveled around the world. He lived in like different indigenous tribes. And one in the Amazon, the Shuar, they were the ones that shrink the heads. And they have a thing called touching the jaguar, and it means touching your fear. I feel like this was your big fear. Remember when Alex was just like, that is like your biggest fear in so many ways? This is you touching your biggest fear in so many ways. And once you do that, nothing can hurt you. That's why they call it touching the jaguar. It's like, it is almost a death experience, because it's like you just shed a skin and you're like, nothing can control you. If you faced your greatest fear, like you're free. Oh my gosh, this ties into freedom. It ties into liberation. Oh, money paid me home. 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 And I'm picturing this guy that sometimes I listen to every once in a great blue moon. And he was talking about God energy and how like God can be so ruthless sometimes with us and like with our energy in the pursuit of liberation. It also reminds me of that Adi Ashanti poem that I love. It's like my favorite poem. It's called The Tendency to Shine. And it's ruthless. He talks about the ruthlessness of God. That today I'm in a mood to plunder you and fling you naked on the shore. Like, and remember I was talking about the tweezers? It's like God's like that benevolent energy, but also like that wretched energy almost. Like you have to touch the jaguar. You have to confront your biggest fears, and all of that can lead to like some truth, liberation, and enlightenment experience. This is about freedom, because nothing can hold you back now. You've already faced your worst fear. You came out not just alive, but all the better for it. I feel like your teeth are sharp, your claws are sharpened, and you're not going to be, this will never happen to you again. It doesn't need to happen to you again because you've faced your fear. This is actually huge energy. This is strong energy. This is courage energy. Please reframe that in your mind is what I heard. So whatever, you're not a victim. Yeah, these people tried to make you a victim. They could have tried to victimize you, and they did it in the worst way possible. And these people will get their karma. These are very, I'm picturing little bugs. So like for your energy, I got like a gorilla and like a big, like big cat. For these people, I get like termites or like little ants or something. Like these people have a long way to go on the totem pole to life, and they will have to travel their journey the same as we did. It's not even about vengeance or anything. It's like we are all on our journeys here. We're all walking each other home, and this is like a weird, brutal way of somebody walking you home. They're in the wrong 100%, and it's their ignorance. Like they're not doing this skillfully. They're not doing this skillfully, not at all. I mean, that might be extra deceit. This might be very convincing. I mean, maybe they're bullshit. They're skilled at bullshit. But they're not like assisting the divine in a skillful way. It's just like kind of their ignorance is the divine tries to kind of point it in a direction, you know? So anyways, like, please don't be scared and reframe this in your mind. You have emerged like, oh, you know, like people say like, I'm the biggest thing that thumps in the night. You know, it's like, there's a thing that people say where it's like, I realize I'm the biggest, baddest thing in the forest. And you know, there was that exhibit at one of the zoos, and it was just a mirror, and it said like the most dangerous thing like in nature, and it's just like looking at a human being. I feel like people have like thought that you were not a threat or something, but it's just because you're nice. That's very different than not having strength and courage and tenacity. And you do have those things. And I'm not telling you to be dishonorable or violent. I just don't think that's in your energy. I mean, look at where you came from. Somebody used your own good nature against you or tried to. And it was showing you kind of like a weakness or a blind spot. And this is where we talk about the difference between being nice. I think these people were probably nice, but nice is a garnish. Nice is a garnish. If it's not backed up by true goodness, by true good actions, where their actions, this is masculine and feminine energy, right? Their actions, masculine. I've kind of come around to learning this, and I think you are too, where when we talk about divine masculine or divine feminine energy, we're really talking about someone who is fully imbalanced, because any divine masculine or divine feminine, both of those energies have to be in harmony. And the spiritual journey is that journey of unhypocriting yourself. Emily, thank you so much. The inner jaguar is out. I experienced this giant shift, shedding the skin the other day. Beautiful. So it is like about bringing the two into balance, because when your actions match your words, match your persona, you're not a hypocrite. You're total, you're whole, which is the goal of spirituality, is to become whole and to become one with God, one with truth energy. The quote that I shared, Ramina's quote, that the truth is what sets you free. It is what purges you from all future births. It rids you of karma. So connecting with the truth is like that, is that path forward. It is that journey. I feel like every single one of these, like the 7 dwarfs that are like treacherous and stupid and fucked in the head, like, you know, instead of the dopey, whatever, each one of these people holds a key for you. And I think they were meant to show you that you have this kind of like superior key. You have the master key. You have the master key. And once you realize that you have it, none of these people can do anything to you. You have no reason to be scared of these people. And the divine is in your corner because you align with truth energy. You have your head on straight, and basically your karmas are way better. Your karmas are way better. So, meaning like you have less obstacle. You have less restriction, like naturally. So it's kind of like the divine filing up behind you. Not because the divine's playing favorites, but just because you're honored. I'm hearing like you're cherished, you're respected by the divine. And this is allowed to go on so long as you're learning something, but I feel like it's been put an end to. So the skeleton key. No ethics. There might be these people use like parties or reunions or something here in order to try to get you in your head and make you feel ostracized. This energy may be turning on them. Or you could have felt ostracized here, like by a group, like everybody else seems to like get along and you can't understand why. Cut this out. I think you feel like you need something here. And this could just be because you're a primate. We're social species. And it's like, well, the group hates me. So that's like a major threat. And it was designed to make you feel that way. But just like kind of see, this is eagle eye energy, remember? Because I think you always see through your heart. But what if you didn't see through your heart right away? Instead, I do feel like you need to bring the mind into the room first. You need to see like people very clearly and then allow that heart energy to flow through. Yeah, judgment. So this is you connecting with healthy judgment, because I feel like these people could have judged you and it would have been stupid and like absolutely harsh and completely unfair and just exclusively to bully you or to make you wrong. So this is nasty judgment. It's unfortunate. It's bad. Low vibrational judgment. You have high vibrational judgment. And I feel like that's what this is meant to awaken in you. Because you don't want to feel judged. I'm hearing like a bunch of beautiful things for your energy, like treat others the way that you want to be treated, and you don't want to feel judged or excluded. So you would never do that here to other people, but other people, you stand out in this. There's something about your energy that's powerful, and I feel like these people all saw it. And I don't think that you saw it. And even if you did, it's like you would kind of think like, oh my God, I would literally never use my power to hurt you. Any power that I have would always be used to help us and to transform and to change and to hold the perimeter. I would never use my power against you. Well, you and these people don't have that in common, because these people had to manufacture some kind of superior position through alliance with one another. And there are several steps here, like with this group that kind of like went against you. This is how the divine is clocking them. I'm just seeing it. This was definitely some kind of karmic test. And it's like all of the little things that these people each had to do in order to even build this nasty, gross 7 dwarfs of hell scenario where they were like kind of coming up against you internally. There's so many barriers and checks that were like not put into place to make sure that they're aligning with positive energy and that they're putting good energy out in the world internally. And then that flowed out to their actions externally. This is decrepit energy. Like we talked about masculine and feminine being in alignment. These sides are in alignment towards bullshit and fuckery. Like for these people. So I feel like, again, you just had to kind of face people who really feel no remorse. That's what that is. When the negative actions are in alignment with like who they are, that negative being energy, like, no, I am a shithead. And my actions match that I'm a shithead. Well, that's wholeness. They're integrated. But this is somebody who feels justified and there's just no remorse. I feel like you had to face somebody here who literally can't get out of like their own way in their mind and just has no remorse. I feel like there could have been more than one person. I think this could have been a group. This is crazy. But this leading you to your lover's energy, to a group, and obstacles are being put up. And they're realizing, I think they had a tower moment that there's something here that look, this is Snow White energy, and that that they're full of shit. I think these people like they want people to think that they're not decrepit. But they are. So there's like some kind of incomplete plan here. They can't get in your energy. There is obstacles. You do have strong protector energy. Even this is like a spirit guide. It could be connected to dragon energy. Somebody could be born in the year of the dragon, or it's just strong dragon energy to protect your peace and liberation. Aww. Yeah. So that's the truth of the situation. And these people are going to get acquainted with it, even though it's like their mortal enemy. But these people are going to have to get acquainted with the truth of themselves. And I just heard of their mind, the truth of their mind. And it's fucked up in there. Like it's fucked up in there for these people. Because I'm literally seeing them like, and it's just cobwebs and like gross shit. These people have so much work to do. So much work. All right. Yeah. Can one person embody all the dwarves traits? Sure. Yeah. Like however this is coming through. Yeah. Nothing will remain hidden before God. There's like a lot of God energy that's coming through. Truth energy, purging energy. Oh my gosh. Purge. Something you're about. I feel like you're purging. So you might literally find yourself like getting drawn into an exercise routine. Maybe you're going to hit the sauna, energetic cleansing, energetic purging. And you're encouraged to do these things. To get the energy moving and energy like purging, and the divine is literally purging these people from your energy and like from your life. And I feel like it's a purge scenario for them. Like I'm seeing them be released into some kind of like arena, and it's like because of the treachery, because they used God energy, peace energy against one. I just heard God's favorite, somebody who like actually loves God. They've made an enemy of God. These people hated you because of what you represent. They made an enemy of God, and God will deal with them. And I feel like they're being spit out into some kind of arena. This is like a place, and anything goes in this place. It's like the Wild West. There's something about this where somebody here can get away with treating them negatively. And again, it's not to like punish, but they have to know. And this is an experiential knowing. And I'm hearing no. This is like a scolding from the divine. It's like, you want to act like a child? You getting swatted like a child. I just saw him like, it's like, no, stop trying to steal cookies out of the cookie jar. We see what you're doing, or something like that. Like, stop. Like, I think these people needed to run straight into a brick wall, or they would never stop. So that's the truth. That's the truth. Okay. It's the spiritual bypassing for me. Next life. I don't think you know how it works, girl. Right. Yep. 2 times my skin burning. It was weird. Whoa, your blind spot is peace. Yes. And, that having strong boundaries. Okay, we know that on a personal level. Boundaries is just like, no. I think sometimes we're scared to do that because it's like, what if somebody pushes my boundaries? Then I might have to fight them. Yeah. And it protects your inner space. If you think about a village the same way, you're going to have warriors that guard the edge of the village so that the village can live in peace. Every single organism has an immune system. It has a barrier. I have a barrier here because I'm going to collect things and want to protect things and use them to live my happy life. And every other organism here wants that too. There's going to be people who try to, if I'm collecting yarn and plants and food and energy and love, well, obviously there's going to be somebody who wants to like kind of come at that. The warrior is there to preserve the peace. And I think some of you have been encouraged to be confused and muddled in the space when somebody comes at you and you have to knock it off. Who caused that to occur? Is it me? Or did you run at me? and you just think that peace needs to be preserved by me being a doormat, you're fucked in the head, right? Like, why don't you, because I think these people are always pointing at you. And I think these people use you having defense, you having boundaries, you having a preference for who and what you want around to play mind games with you. And maybe they're playing mind games with themselves. Evrevs, thank you so much for the $5. It was my worst fears. Now I'm the wrecking ball. Thank you for some clarity on it all. Yes. And I think these people have played in that space. They might well be confused about it too, but honey, unconfuse yourself. Okay, it's the difference between you and them. You are not the aggressor and I think you're just used to people who really have no limits about like, they don't care about the truth. That's really what this comes down to. God is truth. Goodness is truth. They don't care what's true or not. If they can get away with something, if they can flip it around to justify they just hate you. This is like pure blind hatred and they're deaf, dumb, and blind on a spiritual level is what I'm hearing. But when somebody comes at you and you are the force that they run right into and you make sure that they don't come at you again because obviously they need to know that, you're not being aggressive. You are preserving your peace and the peace of the village that stands behind you. And you're allowed to do that. You're allowed defense. These people are the aggressors. Ugh. And I think there's some deep irony here where they accuse you of being fake. They accuse you of like, oh, like this came out in some of the readings. I have no idea where we're at in the reading schedule. But this came out in like some of the readings. But I think they accuse you of all the things that they're doing. They're actually the bullies. They actually smile in your face in order to attack. I think that they confuse your genuine good nature with that. Like, and they say that and they try to make other people think that about you because they want people to think that it's okay to go on the attack. They have no, like, they don't ever look at themselves. Ever. To say like, I'm attacking another person. Even if I have a problem with them, there's other avenues. Avenues that align with the truth. Even if you were being a problem. For me to attack, no. Anyways, I feel like you get it. We're moving on from this. And I really think you're moving on from this. I feel like you have a lot of spiritual protection, a lot of spiritual support. These people are exiting your life, these energies, and they can never touch you again because you've learned your lesson and you've integrated this and you are coming out like more superior here. And I do think there's like a fallen angel, there's like a fallen soulmate who did like say that he was going to love and protect you forever. It's coming through in a masculine energy. And he just is, I'm hearing coward, cruel, go fight, win, like just fallen energy, and they can have him. And I'm seeing like maybe he's going to be their next victim in the next life because you're not doing it anymore. Okay. All right. Be the bigger person doesn't help after decades. Yeah. All right. Moving on to pile number 2. I'm just going to have a bite of my oatmeal here. Mm-hmm. All right. Mukbang.
What do you make in your oats?
All kinds of things. All right. This is a lot of people keep referencing the fiery mountain on this, and it's making me think of that Ed Sheeran song that was associated with The Hobbit. It's like, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. Okay. Okay. I've got maybe, fantasy, no. Helpful. Okay. I'm channeling right now. Okay, I gotta let you guys know. Sometimes when I channel things, it's a little weird. Like the energy has to come out, but I can feel I need to get into this slipstream here. So sorry if I freak you out, okay, but I'm just gotta follow the way the message wants to come through. So I'm like, okay. I'm hearing endocrine. 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 Indoctrine. Okay, so I could like just chant that for hours. Like just get into a space. Endocrine. indoctrin. Like it's just over and over again. And I'm seeing like the Hierophant energy in my mind. And I'm seeing like them trying to like write things in the dirt and like show certain things. And you know, Ramana was silent for a lot of his life and used to write things in the dirt. And there's something here about that. And they're trying to kind of like suss apart again on this kind of track of like what is true and what is not true here with the village. And there might be a question that hangs in the balance here of like, do I go with the crowd or do I go my own way? What's like truthful and what's not? And again, I'm hearing indoctrin. And that's that Hierophant energy, which is meant to kind of like show the way spiritually. And I'm hearing this is the highlight. I'm like this is the highlight of like the spiritual path, is hearing the high voice. So there's a difference when somebody, okay, there's two groups here, and I think you're trying to figure out what's what. And it's like there's a difference between hearing the high voice and going your own way than like just being obstinate or contrarian. Those are two different energies. In their actions, if you're trying to look at their actions, that's a superficial energy in this case, and you will not be able to tell the difference because they look very similar on the surface. And I do feel like there's a situation like that. And I'm hearing the fact that you could compare these two, that you do compare these two. There's two here that you compare in some way. And this could be yourself with someone else. You're comparing like, why is my path not like this other person? Or there's two people somehow, somewhere in your external world, and you're comparing them. And I'm hearing one red-faced and screaming. One is red-faced and screaming. This could be inner voices here as well. One voice is red-faced and screaming. And like, again, I'm seeing like the piece of this. And this is very yogic, the way this is coming through. So that's where I'm hearing that indoctrin. Okay, because it's like the endocrine system versus like indoctrination. So I feel like there's a mixing of these energies here, but we have fantasy, maybe no. They want you to really parse out these two energies. I just heard, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. I don't know. It's hard to look right at your baby. Okay, so here's my number, so call me maybe. Okay, so there could be, yeah, I don't know. There could be like a flash in the pan or something here, okay? But I feel like you're comparing these two energies on a superficial level. Much too superficial is what I'm hearing. And it has to do with like their actions. And these two people or energies or something, paths, they could not be more different. And I feel like there could be an extreme behavior, something extreme, something that's a major flip, something like that in a person's like character or something, a major flip. And this could happen often. I think there could be somebody here that's a little off their tree. But there's another person here. So you're seeing this behavior in two people that on the surface seem similar for some reason. They could come from the same family. They could both have a certain trait. They could both claim to be certain things. I don't know. There's a similarity, but that similarity, honey, baby, chicken, cherry child, is only skin deep. And you can only be confused there if you're really not going deep enough. So the things that you're comparing between the two, it's like very skin deep. Very skin deep. Very like the way that they express or something. The difference, they could not be more different, but it's you got to learn how to get to the core. Remember I was saying in the first pile, like asking yourself, can you even get to the truth? Do you even have the skills to get to the truth? And I'm picturing like a mole rat now, like with a little light on his head that he's like digging and digging and digging. So this is like subterranean that you have to figure this out. Now, this is the difference between this indoctrin, because I think there might be like some question of like, is this the result of indoctrination or am I being indoctrinated into something? And I'm literally hearing, this is so dead serious, and I just need to look at you dead ass in your face, okay? It's like supposed to be a part of the message. If you dedicate the rest of your life, I'm not talking about 4 hours on a Sunday. I'm talking about the kind of knowledge that comes through dedicating the rest of your life to the study of these two things, especially where they contrast the endocrine system and how it works and indoctrination and how it works. If you do not try to, and there's an authenticity that needs to come through here, a purity that needs to be reserved. So do not investigate these two things because you're trying to figure out like, okay, well, I'm trying to figure out who is what and da-da-da-da. So I'm going to go in and I'm trying to, no, just explore indoctrination as its own study. Don't try to say like, oh, and that's so this person, no, just learn so thoroughly in and out about indoctrination. Coming from everywhere. And if there's a group that you love and you just all in there, just especially that group, you look through everybody gets equal treatment here. Looking through the lens of that, like being the true scholar. What holds that? What is indoctrination? What is it built off of? How do people usually do it, right? What's required for it to hold, right? So this is like the study of cults and all of that, right? And then the endocrine system. And I will say, I know like yogic practice a lot, like it helps to regulate your endocrine system, a lot of the different poses and stuff, right? And I think that there could be two people who are either very different. So something in this like very traditional and something here is like maybe very spiritual. And that's just a metaphor. This, you can be indoctrinated into anything. Literally anything can be a cult. I was watching something, this was like a while back, where they were talking about how corporate culture has now really taken on a lot of facets of like cult, cult-like characteristics. But I'm just hearing, I feel like your big takeaway from this in terms of fantasy, maybe no, is this fantasy or is this fact? The only way that you are going to be able to parse through this is if you yourself, after years of study, truly, and you shouldn't give yourself shortcuts on this because that's how the mind tricks you, because it makes you think that you're an expert in something. Look at what our actual experts in the world, they go to like 8 years of postgraduate education. It's crazy, So that's the threshold, right? We're talking 8 years, okay, of constant study and practicum. Like they're saying, don't trick yourself and don't allow yourself to say I'm an expert because you spent 3 weeks diving into a subject very deeply. They're really just saying like actually and authentically, genuinely pursue the study of indoctrination versus the endocrine system. Not necessarily versus, but they're saying like keep them kind of like apart. Understand these energies, these two energies fully and completely. Once you understand that, you'll be able to tell these two apart. You'll never get over the fact that you ever put them in the same category to begin with, and then you will be healed. And then you will be fully healed. Because there's somebody here who is like a cycle breaker. I'm hearing she's of the endocrine system. You've heard of like the body of Christ. And if you're not a Christian, this doesn't matter, but it's like a metaphor, right? Like that we're all one human body. And the body of Christ certainly would have an endocrine system. And I'm hearing like there's one person here, she is of the endocrine system, right? And the endocrine system has to do with like hormones. Yeah, many hormones. And I'm hearing like she brings her message of peace and she breaks indoctrination. And I know it's coming through like a she. And people name boats like she's and justice is a she. And I don't know, I'm kind of getting that like it's an energy stream or something, or that's able to, somebody here has broken their indoctrination. And that accounts for some kind of major swing. And I'm actually hearing indoctrination, it's like, before your brain is fully developed, really look at the variables that are involved here. If someone was like brought up in a certain thing and it's like, no, really, no one will love you if you don't believe this. Some of you are not like kind of, or maybe this is happening to you for some of you. Like look at everything somebody would have to overcome, in order to be professing something. Like if somebody had somebody when their brain wasn't fully developed, and then they put the fear of God in them that they were not going to have resource, be taken care of, be respected, have a moment's peace without somebody kind of picking at their opinions, then that's more akin to like indoctrination. And I'm hearing being indoctrinated is not the same thing as holding a genuine belief. There's way more like power and control. Holding an opinion is not the same thing as having an agenda. And I think this is kind of like confused. So there's two people here. One is a cycle breaker. One breaks the back of indoctrination, and the other lures you further and further into it. And I feel like there might be accusations saying like, well, that person's just emotionally unstable. Endocrine, right? Like somebody is saying, well, they're just like, their endocrine system is off. And that's why they're like red-faced and screaming or something. And it's like the inner voice. Is your inner voice red-faced and screaming? Why? Are you trying to indoctrinate people into something? It comes from a place of peace. There's a reason that spiritual teachers, like, they look like that. They hold their own energy first and foremost, and I'm going to like the Mahatma letters in my mind. Mahatma means great soul. And they were able to kind of demonstrate certain feats. And they were communicating with some English newspaper. This was back in the day. I think back in the day, it was like, I think 1800s. I'm not entirely sure. This is like connected with like the Blavatsky story, Helena Blavatsky. And they were like, well, we can get this in the newspaper. You guys can come down here. Like, so many people can see this and believe this and da-da-da-da-da. Because he had really convinced this guy that he made a scarf like appear or something. I don't remember the story exactly. But he was like, this is so important. Like, and he was like, we cannot even begin to tell you how little we care if people believe in this or not. Because everybody's on their own journey. And if they are introduced to this stuff before they're ready, then, and this is often spoke about in like the yogic communities, that like they are going to focus on the wrong thing. The city powers. City powers are like yogic powers where you kind of unlock different states of consciousness and things like that. That's not the focus. The focus is that's a distraction. The focus is unification with God, which is why bhakti yoga, devotional yoga, is considered the highest yoga of all. It's not about gaining extra powers or like money or fame or like anything like that. It's about unification with God. And when your heart is pure of devotion, that's a difference between the two. One is like maybe baggage, tradition, you have to do like, and the other is devotion. And those are two very different energies. One comes from a place of like devotion. And again, maybe this is two voices inside of your own mind. I mean, as above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. And I feel like, and I'm hearing the battle of good and evil like is fought on every human's heart. And I'm not necessarily feeling like this is good and evil. This more feels like truth and liberation versus ignorance. So there's a person here, and you might be getting these two conflated, but I'm hearing one is red-faced and screaming. That's what I'm hearing, and they're like, look at that. You have to look at the energy. You can't just look at what's being said. You got to look at like the energy or the expression. You've got to go much, much deeper in order to be able to sort this out for yourself. Yeah, definitely be looking into this. Oh yeah. And there is and somebody said that they've been having some health issues and that they're going to look into the endocrine system. And by all means, like follow those kind of like hits if you feel like something here could be off. I just want to make sure that you guys know I'm like not trying to diagnose anybody. I'm not a doctor. I'm not clarified, or I'm not, qualified to do that. Yeah. Go into contact with your whole family. They're Christian ministers. Yeah. And people go up against you when you trigger their indoctrination, beliefs, and other oaths. I feel like you could be having a disagreement here with somebody, and it's like, I think people, this kind of, I wanted to channel out in a message that's going to come out, and I'm kind of wondering if I should save it, but it's wanting to come out now. So yeah, you could be having a disagreement with somebody here, and it's like you're feeling very frustrated about why, because you have such good intentions. That's another thing to separate here. It's like there's intentions and then there's skill to be able to actually bring about the outcome that you wanted. And that's the tweezer symbolism that we were picking up on. My intentions are good, but intentions alone won't get you there, honey. You have to be able, again, actions and who you are. Your actions need to be in alignment with who you are. And that's the state of unhypocriting yourself. So how do you come across in that energy if you say that that's your energy? And I feel like, again, there's some people here that maybe need to do a better job of questioning themselves. Like, well, I say I want peace and I say I want this, but then why can't I ever just let it go? Why can't they disagree with me? And that's just fine. People disagree all the time and like go about their business. What is it about this issue or like this that I can't drop this and let this go? Because I don't get to sit there and say, oh, well, I just want to get along. I just want to build a bridge if I'm pushing my beliefs on you. And if you disagree with me, we still have a problem because people disagree all the time. So what is it about this issue or this person or something that like kind of triggers you? And for some of you, it's you, but I think for others, you're dealing with a person like this where they're saying these words to you. Well, I just want to get along. I just want to build a bridge. But it's like every single time you sit down to actually like have a conversation here, rather than feeling closer together and actually building intimacy, Heather, thank you so much for the super chat. Rather than like bringing that together, you both feel like further apart. And it's actually like eroding the connection here. And you can't figure out why. It's good to be curious about why. And I think it's starting this kind of like journey within yourself where you have to, because I think you're both using the same words here, but I'm hearing, I do not think that word means what you think it means. And you have to challenge that in yourself first, because I think you both say things like, well, I believe this, okay? And one person has a belief and another person has been indoctrinated into something. Those are two different things. Well, I just have my opinion. No, you have an agenda, okay? Because We all have opinions. Opinions are like assholes. The other thing is I'm hearing authoritative opinion. Not everybody has an authoritative opinion. And people are well within their rights to think that you don't have an authoritative opinion. And if that challenges you and you feel like you're an authority on this and you don't actually like, and that's different than saying that, you know, somebody who has an authoritative opinion is somebody who's educated in something. They have spent they have hours under their belt. They've had, you know, their essays peer reviewed to help kind of weed out common mistakes in their thought process. That is very different than saying somebody who has an authoritative opinion is always right. They're not always right, but somebody here might have an authoritative opinion, or somebody might think that they have an authoritative opinion, but it's just because they're older than you, or they just feel like they can tell you what to do, or they think that you're stupid if you disagree with them. And like, yeah, that could be another thing here where it's like, you don't actually mean what you're saying is what I'm hearing. Somebody here doesn't actually mean that. Like they show their hypocrisy in their actions. The fact that they just don't drop something. They can't let it go. And I think that they are challenging somebody who's just holding a genuine boundary, who does have an opinion and who has the right to have their own opinion and to make up their own mind. And I think that other person who's doing that, who's trying to ram their something in, thinks that that's what's happening for them. It's like they feel like they're victimized when they're kind of instigating where they shouldn't. They're disrespecting somebody's boundaries. You know what I'm saying? It's something here like that. So it's, yeah, endocrine issues that can happen. Adrenal is just one pair of glands, unfortunately. Oh, a lot of people know a lot about the endocrine system. And honestly, a lot of people that are in the spiritual community do tend to kind of find their way there, because there's so much about like yoga and like the health of the body that's about maintaining that. So there could be somebody, and I feel like these words are being thrown around, like, you know, some kind of hormonal imbalance, and there's some kind of indoctrination. And there's people who are authorities on these kinds of things, and there are people who aren't. And if you're not an authority on those things and you haven't studied very well into it, you first and foremost need to admit to yourself where you don't have an authoritative opinion. You need to be, I'm hearing what happens if you're wrong. I don't, like, in your own mind, like, not like, well, I'm not wrong. And no. Let's say for a second you're wrong. What happens then? Like, what do you do? What has occurred because you were wrong? Like, you know, it's like walking yourself through those kinds of scenarios, and just being willing to be open and also to just like trust the process, and to allow other people their process, and to understand that there's some kind of greater goal maybe going on, the divine goal of everybody kind of bumping into each other's mirrors and stuff, but really truly giving people their own process. Actions versus words. It's not the healthy crossing boundaries either. And you don't get to choose that for another person as well. I feel like there's something, it's like, well, you just like, you always like stay in the confines of your own mind, and like, okay, but you don't get to decide when someone's ready to do that, or like how to do that. This is a respect issue. Somebody here is not respected by the other person, and that's what they're feeling. And so I think you can't even get to talking about these issues with this other person, because somebody here just flat doesn't feel respected, you know? And somebody here really just wants their freedom. They just really want to exist in peace. And if they disagree with you, they don't want that to be because they're stupid or whatever. Like they just want to live their life, you know? Yeah. And I think another person may well have a fixation with this issue or with something, I don't know. Yeah, an exciting event. Okay, a new job or career. So there could be that. But the last thing that I'll say here is like with this village energy, this card is all about like the village can only provide so much. And then we all have to like be ourselves, you know, and nobody agrees with the village 100% of the time. And if they do, that's somebody you should be suspicious of. I don't care what the issue is. Like that's somebody that's not able to kind of like parse through information on their own. I think somebody here thinks that somebody is like being an obstacle or like to clarity or something. And there's a lot to kind of sort through here, like with the straw, and I'm hearing like the Rumpelstiltskin story where it's like, if you can guess my name kind of thing, like, and I feel like it's the endocrine or the indoctrine. So let me just pull a couple more cards here because, yeah. Spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. This is guiding your way, being able to parse through this for yourself and for other people here. Dog, protection from a powerful friend. Rat, someone is working against you behind your back. Interesting. So I do feel like whatever this endocrine force is that's coming in, it's like it breaks the back of indoctrination. It is protecting you from some kind of force that is actually working against you that you can't really see behind your back. You know, and you can't see like, you know, kind of what's coming in here is like inside the body as well. That could be a possibility. But yeah, and there's some kind of indoctrination. Something important such as a new job or a raise, dealing or relationship with a man. Someone going out of your life or the end of a situation. So opportunities are waiting for you. So there could be a man who has money and we have casket. Somebody is going out of your life or it's the end of a situation. So they could be leaving your life. There could be actually like a death here. So with this, there's a new door that's opening up for you. February could be important. A period of ill health or depression. You might be, but it's lighting the way in some way. That's bringing some kind of change to your life. So there could be some kind of something hard that you deal with in February. Might have to do with romance. Okay. I'm just going to leave that there because I feel like it's going on this like kind of other tangent, but really like studying the endocrine system and indoctrination, and not through the lens of some kind of agendaed issue either. This is taking a genuine approach to learning about the endocrine system for whatever reason and how it works, and maybe that yogic path, like, and how it connects to the endocrine system, and then learning about indoctrination. And there could be some deep sense of irony here, where it could be that there is somebody who like claims that they're like yogic or something, but they're actually trying to indoctrinate. I know there's plenty of yogic cults out there too. So just because something is yogic or spiritual doesn't mean that they don't have an agenda or that they're not indoctrinating you. It's about an energy. So I think I'm going to leave that there before I confuse you any further. But there's a lot to kind of parse through here in this. And again, I've just looked up at this. It's like there's divinely guided. This is a divinely guided experience. But this is, again, shifting into that process-oriented. Like the process is the way. And I feel like you have to kind of unpack this for yourself. And it's not bad. Like, I feel like they're also trying to break the addiction to, like, if you're confused or like you don't know, like you get scared immediately and it's like that fight or flight, like that immune system kind of like ramps up. And they're saying instead of saying, well, I'm confused or I'm lost or this is like not how it should be, instead just know, actually, this is exactly your spiritual lesson. This is your spiritual teacher at this moment. Being able to parse through what is indoctrination and what is some kind of endocrine system, something, and actually being able to see that. And as you work through that and kind of can distinguish them apart, you are learning your lesson. You are advancing spiritually. This is the path. I've heard some of you think your teacher's in something to do with this, but this is your classroom, like whatever this issue is. You're not meant to be a teacher. And some of you, it could be that obstinate, like standing there. And again, there's two things that you're comparing, or two people, and you don't understand the difference between the two because on the surface they look quite similar, but it is just on the surface do they look very similar. And somebody here has broken the back of an indoctrination, which explains their different kind of behavior or something different, like a major swing. They've broken the back of an indoctrination, and another person is indoctrinated or does indoctrinate or something. And there might be a sense of irony here because this is a spiritual lesson, so you've got to kind of peek behind the surface. It's not going to be so matchy-matchy. Okay, so that's pile number 2. It's pile number 2. Hey. Dee, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, you're welcome. Okay. Prayer wheel. See, look at that. That was progress for me because I'm the type of person where I'm like, oh, just get on there. Like, you know, and Alex is always like, Jess, if you slow down and if you just kind of try to feel it out and you're not in such a hurry all the time, then it just kind of clicks back in and you don't ruin everything. And I just did that. And I feel like that was part of the message. See, you can teach an old dog new tricks. Maybe that's part of the message too. It's like, because yeah, the brain, neural grooves. Okay, I just also heard like the connection of the nervous system and the endocrine system, but I feel like you'll naturally go there through studying the endocrine system. I don't know. These are just things.
Make you an old dog.
Yep. You married an old dog, sweetie. Sweetie hun. Deconstructing. And Rumi says the highest form of learning is unlearning. So, okay, yeah, this message is kind of trickling out because I'm also hearing the highest form of learning is unlearning. And it doesn't, like, you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, but I do feel like there's something here that, like, maybe you're attached to in terms of your identity. And you're like, well, I'm this kind of person and and it's like very flag planted in the ground. And it's like, you could, yeah, but how can you don't, you're never going to transform that energy. That's just going to be a fixture in your life. So just pay attention on the spiritual journey where there's places that you just refuse to go within yourself. You're like, no, this is a fixture, and that's not going to change. That's ego identity, very entrenched ego identity. And I'm watching you now grab it out by the root and throw it. And it had like a really thick root too. And it's like, I just heard quit putting roots in my dreamland. Okay. That was definitely a message for me. Oh, I'm so glad. Truth, Miss Jess. I don't know so much more than I know. Yeah. That reminds me of, there's a Sam Hunt quote, and it says, one day we're going to know too much to know it all. Okay. Well, we got our little lip gloss on. I'm seeing the empath narcissist dichotomy, right? And like, they can look so similar because honestly, the people that are so good at being narcissists, you can't really tell them from an empath at first. Like, that's, I think, sometimes sort of the point, because so many things in life are a circle. Like, we think that it's like a line where it's like this pole and this pole. And so these are so different from each other. So they're going to express as so different from each other. A lot of things, that line gets pushed together as a circle, and those poles, they look very close together. And again, I kind of feel like that's breaking the karmic cycle, is just cutting through and actually see how different these things are. But you can't just look at the superficial things. And for some, this has to do with some kind of schmegdual thing, because I'm seeing from the Swan Princess with the prince in that, and he offends her, Odette, the love interest of the story, because they knew each other since they were children. And she's like, well, I just want to make sure that you don't only like me for my appearance. And he goes, what else is there? And then the next scene is like him in his quarters with his, like, the guy that's like basically raised him, his like advisor his whole life. And he's like, what else is there? You could write a book called How to Offend Women in 10 Words or Less. So again, it could be something very superficial, or you could have been compared to somebody. Like, maybe this is going on like on the other side of things, and one attraction is built out of like an indoctrination, and the other one, or these two people. So I don't know. Take that. However, there you go. One of my favorites, and Thumbelina. Oh my gosh, I used to love Thumbelina as a child. I haven't watched that in so long, but that toad was so gross. Ugh, the toad. Okay. Moving on to pile number 3. Just gonna do this again. I just heard, and I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Okay, there's a definite decision here. And I still haven't found what I'm looking for. All right, what message are we doing? Truth? What's real, or fiction, or fantasy?
Or it's fact or fantasy.
Okay, fact or fantasy.
You're confusing both of our mix-em-ups with that, because I was doing the fact or fiction before.
Okay. They have it as a free movie. Oh, good to know. Okay. The Queen, pile number 3. Yeah. I feel like there's 2 queens. And take this however it resonates. This could be inside of you, but I feel like this is outside, okay? And like, I'm hearing the word competitor. Yeah, Queen of Cups, the devil energy, the devil's cup. So seeing clearly like this, there's a very tricky energy here that's trying to lure you off path or something. They just want to take things from you and make you feel sad. And you kind of like unmasked this, but they're teamwork in undoing the betrayal and protecting yourself from this energy. So there's definitely a decision. It's a karmic decision. And it has to do with this 10 of Cups energy. So it has to do with this like kind of happily ever after. And this might tie into pile number 2, where it's like these could be the 2, like if it's 2 queens, like it could be these 2 queens that it's like you're trying to figure out who's legit and who isn't. But the 10 of Cups for me actually means 2 very different things, because obviously there's the 10 of Cups meaning that we all know. This is like the joyful, happy family, like joy-filled, love-filled life. But for me, the 10 of Cups is Mars in Pisces. And Pisces can be a sign of loss. and that Mars energy might feel lost. So again, it's like the other is a path of impotence. Mars is also the planet of competition and schmegduality. So those, and strategy and men, you know, and any one of these things, once you kind of know how the planets express, you can realize the same energy can take like kind of many different forms. But there's that competition energy, there's a schmegdual energy that actually does lead you off your path, and it leads you astray. And I feel like that is, there's a decision here, like with the Two of Pentacles, and it might be throwing you off your balance. The fact that now there's this like other queen energy, and it doesn't have to be a female. Take that however it resonates. But you know, queen is a sovereign energy. It's maybe like a very developed person. And so there's one person here who is actually trying to blot out the truth. And it might seem very nurturing, but is actually trying to block your path. And it's going to, I'm seeing this like inflamed. It's going to inflame your mind. It's going to inflame your home space. It's like very agitated, right? And then the other one sets you free. It's like an actual queen energy. And this queen might have to actually be very fierce, you know, might have to be protective of her moon space, of her mind, of her emotions, of her sensitive bits, you know, of her cycles, of something here. Like she might, I'm hearing she's not hiding anything. So there's one person here who's like hiding everything. They're just like basically a very fake person, and they feel very justified in competing. This is a person who's very negative. They like to compete. They like to rival. They think that they're like doing the Lord's work or something in doing this. It's really low. It's very gross. But really they're malicious and they're full of spite, and they just want to knock this other queen. I think they just want to rival. They just want to compete, and it's gross. And there's, again, like, this is kind of similar energy, but I feel like this is a karmic decision with the Justice card. And there might be some kind of message that is involved with this over a passport for some of you. That's so specific. A passport, some kind of travel, some kind of new beginning. Somebody's like waiting on a message, maybe. Waiting for their ships to come in to build, to get a victory here. But I feel like somebody's examining this. They could literally be examining a drink. Or they could be examining like an apology or some kind of new like message. Yeah, because it's like sneaking around. And they're questioning whether or not this is wish fulfillment. And that's a very good thing here. Their intuition is like very much going. So your intuition is correct. There's somebody here that's like very sneaky. And I think you've had to move away from your emotions in order to figure that out, in order to spend some time alone or like get some clarity here. And that's actually what's changing the Wheel of Fortune energy. I think this might have been what brought in the other queen, whichever other queen it was that was brought in, because you could have had the negative queen first and then you got away and you were like sitting, I'm seeing like on the hill alone, getting the clarity that you need. That started to change the Wheel of Fortune, and it brought in this positive queen. So now you're sitting at this crossroads. It could have also gone the other way, where you had this positive queen and there's like a lot of emotions or something, but then you moved away, and then that's what brought in this negative queen. And it's kind of thrown things into doubt here. So I feel like you're questioning what's true, and you're trying to, I feel like there's some sneaky energy going on with you here as well. Realizing loss versus sabotage. Okay, so no. Judgment. I feel like some of you need to say a strong no to somebody here. Something is trying to strategize its way into your life or your family or... Okay, let's see. What's fantasy in this situation, Spirit? What is actually what's fact? What's fact here in this situation? What is fact in this situation, Spirit? You're navigating through some kind of inadequacy, feeling underconfident is what I'm getting, and trying to temper out. Somebody could be tampering with a drink here, just to throw that out there, to try to change some kind of fortune energy. Be careful. somebody is wanting to send a message in order to reverse an ending. So I feel like there's something here. It's like you're on shaky ground. You felt like there was nothing for you in a situation and you're right. And you're kind of like leaving and you're trying to traverse some kind of ground here in order to get away from this. This could very well tie into pile number 2 because I'm hearing that like endocrine in doctrine, because the 5 of Pentacles is usually somebody walking around outside of a church that's like been traditionally considered sanctuary. So there's some kind of group that I feel like you're being encouraged to leave and like kind of balance out, and that's changing your fortune. And you might get some kind of message here, but somebody's trying to put an obstacle in your path and they're sneaking around in order to do this. They're waiting for their ships to come in regards to some kind of decision. They're waiting to hear back about a decision. I feel like they're really in their head about this too, because they're trying to sneak around and they want to move forward and they might want to travel to you in a car. So somebody could be waiting to hear, like, should I come to you? You know, or like and they're waiting for that decision. I feel like this is such a karmic decision to reunite. And this could have to do with a marriage. For some of you, this is going on in the background. Okay. So like what's truth or what's fiction? I would say this is truth, that somebody that you're dealing with is like having to face, they're very anxious. They're so in their head about like, am I going to go back to my toxic, like karmic partner? And maybe some of you are the toxic karmic partner. I don't know. I don't have like a pie in the sky view of life or YouTube or my subscribers here. Some of you may well be that. And somebody's like leaving you, but they're scared to like traverse that. And you're kind of maybe putting on your little show, you know, trying to fluff up a little bit and try to lure somebody kind of back because they've decided that they're going to move away from you. But it could go, I think it's going the other way for most of you, where it's like somebody's leaving like a toxic situation. Maybe they feel like this is going to cause a tower moment, but I feel like there was some kind of tower moment in the past, some kind of realization to do with impotence and to do with like them being controlled. Look at this. There's something to do with drink. Somebody here could be an alcoholic in order to be controlled. Like someone kind of encourages a vice or something so that they feel trapped and this person can actually be like much more independent. Somebody likes when somebody is like drinking. Because they can get away, they can get out or sneak about or something. And I feel like they want a new beginning. They might want it to be secret, or they're keeping secrets. Oh my gosh. Okay, because I'm seeing like the Ace of Pentacles for me a lot of times can be a boundary card, and then I saw the High Priestess kind of around that. They're trying to like keep their secrets out. So I feel like they're trying to keep like a certain thing kind of pure and free from like their secrets, but it's almost like they're trying to put like a bushel over you to keep you from seeing the truth of who they actually are, and to keep from having to take responsibility about some kind of argument, something that they said, some kind of impulsive action. They don't want to take responsibility for betraying you. They don't want to have to remove like the swords from your back. Instead, they want you in your head. See this maze? They want you in your head. They want you in your emotions. This is some kind of sexual strategy. They want to keep you isolated, and they want to use emotional energy to do this. Luminous Lightworker, thank you so much. Yeah, they want you. And look, okay, I'm noticing like this skeleton has heart eyes, and the heart eyes are like looking down. They want you in your head. This is an emotional strategy. They want you isolated, feeling inadequate or lacking, so that some functioning dysfunction can go on. I feel like this is definitely a functioning dysfunction of theirs. This could be their like approach to relationships. It's a manipulation. And they could be connected to a Queen of Swords here as well. Like, this could even be somebody who has a friend that, like, is trying to offer you their... I feel like this is a cunning creature. Somebody here is, like, acting like the Queen of Cups, but behind it is, like, the Queen of Swords. It's, like, very practiced, very observant, very studied, very strategic, like, all of those things in order to... Four of Cups. So that you don't take the higher cup, which is getting out. They could be using a friend group here. It's like party, reunion energy, so that you don't free yourself from this energy. So that you don't take the higher cup. And they're trying to blot out the truth because there's just void energy here. There's just void energy behind this. And they feel entitled to do this. They feel like because of secrets, maybe because they feel like you have, like, you know their secrets. Or you're telling their secrets. And somebody might see you. Somebody that's a decision maker. This King of Swords. Somebody who could cut them off is what I'm getting. And they don't want that. You know something here, I think. And if this King of Swords, or if a King of Swords were to see you or something, they could cut them off. Look, 2 of Cups, 4 of Swords. There's secrets here. Somebody's really trying to bury like a relationship. Maybe a child to get a victory in a reunion. So you've sussed this person is what I'm kind of feeling, and you're keeping yourself separate, even though it might be causing you some kind of financial difficulty or something. But I feel like there's a locational difference here as well. And you're keeping yourself like separate, like you're living in a different house or something like that. Yeah. This person's not a real queen. I mean, they are, but it's like they're very bad aspected. They're like for all the wrong reasons. Somebody here's starting to see this. They could have actually witnessed like a hidden lover. And they don't want you to see that. They're really trying to bury their secrets here. They really don't want you to know something. So naturally, let's try to poke it. They're trying to make some kind of advancement through some kind of secret relationship. Now, I don't know if that's with you or you know about this somehow. You may have seen something and not even realize that you like witnessed some kind of evidence around an affair or some kind of hidden strategy. But if like what you saw, because you might not realize that it's like you saw something that puts somebody in a certain location at a certain time or something. It might seem totally normal to you because somebody's like compartmentalizing. And you might not even know that you hold this secret. I feel like you hold a secret somehow. So somebody feels justified as going at you because they're trying to, maybe they're trying to get to a queen. They're trying to control this judgment energy. They're trying, oh my goodness, this is so karmic because there's so many secrets here. Oh my gosh. And look, it's the moon and like this moon here. And I just want to roll the moon away because I feel like the moon is pretend. It reminds me of like the tomb with Jesus. And it's like, I just want to push this moon out of the way because behind it is just this void energy. It's secrets, it's hidden, it's, but somebody's trying to keep 2 things very separate because they're trying to control this judgment energy. This is Pluto energy. So they're trying to control what stays buried. They're trying to control secrets. They're trying to control, again, emotions, schmegduality, money after marriage, something to do with a child. They're trying to control this judgment energy. How do you think that's going to go? Pluto, the planet of control. You think you're going to win? Like when it comes to that? I feel like there's like a secret that threatens to come out because of you, because you've seen something here or you know something. And it could be just enough for somebody here to observe some kind of toxic relationship from the past. Somebody's trying to gain something here through a relationship. Somebody's trying to gain money. Or status, a home. They're trying to weasel their way in. They want money. Somebody wants money. And they want a new beginning. And this could be from 2 different people. So they want to keep this new beginning. Why do they want this new beginning? Queen of Wands. Somebody who's mad attracted to somebody else. And it's like, there's a lot of passion here for somebody. So this could be a person that's married or trying to be married, trying to weasel their way in to get someone's property is what I'm getting. Or to be someone's property. I don't know what that means. But yeah, like they want some kind of passionate new beginning here with the Queen of Wands. Somebody they find very attractive, but they want to act like they're taking responsibility for healing and for distance. So they want, oh my gosh, this is so insidious. So they want to be like, listen, the time that we were apart, I've taken distance. I've gotten clarity. I've taken responsibility of my actions. And I want this new beginning. I want you to jump in with me for a new beginning because something here is like ended. They could talk about a death. I don't know if it's real or not. It's in order to confuse and in order to give them more options here. Yeah, somebody here is like very, very sneaky. There's 2 homes here or 2 locations that somebody wants to travel back and forth with via a car. This could be just a cheater, your garden variety asshole. Oh my gosh, like this moon card keeps coming out, like the secrets. And maybe they're trying to act like attractive or nurturing or that they want to build a home with somebody, but really they're just a liar. They're just a skis. So I'm noticing like in this chariot card, like the guy is really pulling back the veil and behind it is like that skeleton energy. And I feel like, I don't know, it's like, it's so like drawing you in, but then it's like whenever you like peek behind the curtain, it's like, like, what? Judgment. Judgment. Secrets here. So I don't know where you're at in this scenario. If you are the person that's like the home situation, maybe you've got money. Maybe this person's really trying to lock it down with you because it's like they want to have a nice house and access to your bank account and your property. They might want to be your property, but then they want to maintain some kind of hidden affair with somebody else that they're like very attracted to. They find this person to be like a queen of wands. Or you could have been a person that stumbled upon some kind of clue. I just heard a clue. Like, you know, some kind of clue where they could potentially like piece certain things together and you might not even realize it because what looks like is occurring in front of you is like normal and above board. But you don't understand somebody here's like very deeply sneaky. And they're actually like in their head about it. Because they don't know how they're going to fulfill their sexual strategy to keep their real face hidden. Yeah. This is a manipulator. So somebody here could be trying to hide a queen from another queen. Or, and they're trying to act like very emotional, but I feel like they're this vacuous hole. Like really when you like move this away. They're the snake in the Garden of Eden. They're trying to tempt somebody into their vacuous hole. That might be literal. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It just came to me. So don't go in there. But this is kind of what I was saying in pile number 1, like the Bluebeard energy. Like get into this closet. Oh my gosh. Commit, kiss, help. They could be trying to use commitment energy or kiss energy or help. They might be trying to offer financial help to this Queen of Wands, but they would have to steal that money from someone else. Destroy or ruin a commitment. To disarm somebody. They're trying to disarm someone here. Yeah, somebody here is very manipulative and they're very good at it. And they use moon energy. So like luxury, emotional energy, secrecy energy. This could even be partying energy. Also, this could be the energy of a crowd. This is like a person who's very good at like haze, or I just heard hazing. So maybe this person's like hazing certain, I don't know, people. Oh my gosh, I'm hearing a Savage Garden song. It's like, Mama never loved her much and Daddy never keeps in touch. She shies away from human affection, but somewhere in a private place, she packs her bags for outer space. And she's waiting for the right kind of pilot to come. And she'll say to him, she says, I will fly you to the moon and back if you'll be my baby. Got a ticket to a world where we belong. So somebody could be trying to say like, I got a ticket for you. They could be trying to get them to move location or to keep them a secret. Yeah, Soul, that's my boy cat. And he's like shining clarity on this. So this is like crazy. This is like double life energy. This is like the kind of thing you feel like you only see on the TV kind of thing. Come here, baby. Tower. Yeah, this is going to lead to a tower moment. Oh, baby, come here. Did you hear that little squeaky? Yeah, so this is a tower, but I feel like somebody could have thrown a tower in this person's plans. Because they've seen someone out with someone. This is funny. If you're wondering if someone revealed a secret about you being out with somebody to a target, the answer to that question is very much yes. If you're asking if dots have been connected here, I feel like the answer is very much yes, or will be shortly. Okay, that was juicy. They have to grieve sending a message. Somebody wanted to send someone a message, but they're entirely deceitful. Somebody's like thrown a wrench in the plan. And now this person's like up in their head about King of Wands. Could be about a King of Wands. About their player ways is kind of what I'm getting. And about respect and about loyalty. Good. Okay, so at the end of the day, I feel like this is causing, like, I'm hearing, like, actually a crisis of conscience, a crisis of faith. I feel like somebody here, this is like manipulator bar none. This person is a very good manipulator. And they probably have gotten away with this for a long time, but I feel like Spirit's rolling this away. Some of you might have asked for that to occur in some capacity, and it's happening. This person's not going to get away with, I'm hearing, the tangled webs that we weave. They're not going to get away with this. They're going to get trapped in their own net here, or maybe that's already happened. And I think they could be realizing it. They just realized it. I'm hearing that. They just realized that their plan is foiled, and that, like, what they were trying to keep separate, they can't actually keep separate. And it's thrown a spanner in the works. And also they could be in their head about a King of Wands, because this person may think that there's a competitor in the form of a King of Wands. So it could be a fire sign. This person who's competitive could be very sexy. They could like have a lot of options themselves. And they can't rival, they can't compete, because their secret has come out and they don't know how to get around that. And I don't think there is any way around that. And I think it's caused some kind of tower moment here. And yeah, I think they're re-examining a message as well. So if they did try to send a message to someone and it was like blocked, or they might, I kind of feel like some of you suss this person, something came out, and it could have been through tarot, I don't know. And somebody sent a message and it like got blocked, or it didn't get responded to in the way that they thought that it was going to. And now they're re-examining that and they're like, oh, because you knew my secret, or somehow like you knew my secret. That's what I feel like is going on here. And if you're asking if that's the truth, the answer is yeah. That's the truth. Somebody knows something that you didn't think that they knew. If you're this like strategic person, I'm like wondering why I'm even feeling emotion, because to me, people like this don't even have emotions. Like they're just so strategic, and I'm like, why are you like nervous? Because the way is blocked. Because there is no negotiating. There's no having this conversation. They can't strategize. They just realized it. I think somebody is having to confront their secret identity. This is a piece of work. This person is so deceptive. And I feel like a tower moment has just occurred. It may have even happened a while ago, but it's like they just realized that like they got found out. And that's why things didn't go their way, or that's why you're not responding to their message the way that they want you to, or at all, or that's why you have them blocked. You knew all the secrets. That did go on. Yeah, because it's like you do know something here. And with the moon being here, I feel like you're this other queen for a lot of you. Maybe the situation had you boss up into your queen energy, because I feel like this is probably a karmic from like many past lives that was very deeply entrenched, very well hidden. This person's very well hidden, very well disguised. I'm kind of getting that this is a man, but they come off like as nurturing, or as emotional, or as like moon energy, traditional energy, loving energy, home energy, and they're just not. And I feel like you are so intuitive, and I feel like you had to boss up into this space in order to protect yourself, in order to protect your moon energy, your heart, your mind, your home, all of it. And I feel like now this is you standing in your power. That's like, no, like you have your own snake to eat their little snake. Yeah. And it's a lot of power. So like, I feel like this person is very agitated in their mind, or they bring a lot of that. Like that's maybe part of their sexual game and strategy is like, again, it's like, I'm seeing this being like an inflamed, irritated, like moon space. And I feel like it could have been, but I feel like you've turned the tables, and now there's just so much power coming from your energy, and you're in alignment, and it's just keeping, and it's pushing this person further and further away. And they basically can't get in your energy if they want to be, they're anxious about this. Why does this person care so much? Is this just sexual attraction? Why do they care? Because to me, somebody like this doesn't have emotions. Why do they care? Independence. They feel stuck. They feel trapped. Why do they care? Spirit, why does this person even care what you're doing? They already have another situation. Like the Lovers and the Seven of Cups. What? If they get found out in this other situation that they're trying, they want to come over here to you. If something should happen here, they want to make sure that you don't know the truth, that they were over here, And look, we've got the Lovers energy. This is the Lovers is showing up here on this other side. So yeah, if that doesn't work out, they want to keep you as an option. Because they're just waiting for their ships to come in with a message. So that could be like they're waiting to see if like they get found out over here. Oh, I just asked, why is the Lovers over here? And it's the Three of Swords. So I think there's like, there could be like a relationship that they're trying to get in on. This is definitely a karmic. And they are betraying that. This is a third party situation. This could be an affair situation over here. Oh my gosh, this is so karmic. They don't want to be alone. So if this doesn't work, then they want to come over here to you. And they want maybe you to defend them, like their purity of their love energy or something, or they want defense. This is gross. This person is so sneaky. Look at that face. Look at it. Look at it. And they're just trying to get all their ducks in a row. And like, there's a timing thing here. This is a devil. Okay, I'm done with this. And so are you. Let's all be done with this, right? This is like such a sneaky person. Such a sneaky person. Ugh, so deceptive. Look, you have divine protection from this. I keep looking back at this. Oh, and look, like the Shibra's cobra. That's that big snake. That's that big snake. What is this person's problem? Okay, see, I have a morbid curiosity about this. If you guys want to know why, like, how I got sucked into psychology, it's because when I see energies like this, I really can't fathom them. Like, I really cannot fathom that there is a human being that goes around being this deceitful in our world. It makes no sense to me. Ew. This person's a charmer. They want to send you a message. Hi, girl. Did you come for me? Thank you, girl. Luna's here, too, now. The gang's all here. All right. So we're putting that to bed. Oh, I'm sorry. And I feel like you partially understand this. Yeah, you partially understand this. So maybe it's like you understand, but it's like you don't understand like how, I feel like how deceitful this person is. Okay. Go riddance. I feel like there could be some legal matters here. Okay. I have to put that down because my morbid curiosity clicks in and I'm just like, oh, like, what is this person? Like, oh, yeah. Okay. Pile one needs clarity before something else, but it's the opposite. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I just keep saying okay. I'm like, ugh, let's pull back from that. I feel like you're blocking it though. Good. Good. I'm sure whatever clarity you need, because like you're partially there, that card said, and I'm sure whatever clarity you need will come in, but it's like divine timing, so you're not like completely overwhelmed, you know, with like the treachery and deceit of what goes on with some people in some people's minds. You gross. Something wrong with them. Okay. Okay, I just heard, move along like I know you do. Move along. That's the All American Rejects. Move along. You drive me crazy. You have changed me. I'm just waiting to see if I need to feel disgusted about this, given the last pile. Maybe I'll get a different deck. All right, Spirit. New energy, new message. New energy, new message. That person really wants to come through and talk. They want to send you a message. This person's a charmer. They're very good with communication. If this person disappears I'm sorry, I'm still on pile number 3. I just feel protective. So if this person disappears for long periods of time, I feel like there's a cycle to this, but you shouldn't excuse that behavior. They have like a family. They have a whole ass family. Or they're trying to disrupt a family. And they could tell you that they're going back and forth to see their family. And it's not a lie, but it is a lie. Because you might think they're going back to see Nana. Okay? And they're not. They're being shady. Okay. I agree. Damien says these types eventually destroy themselves. Darkness consumes itself. I agree. I've seen that a lot in my own life. Soaked in black tourmaline. Okay. Spirit, new energy. Please and thank you. New energy. Oh, okay. Interesting. I just looked up and I saw the candles that we're going to launch today. And this is part of the message. So the scented candle that we're going to launch is called Fresh Start. I'm just going to smell it. Oh, and I do feel like you have a fresh start coming in. Especially once you're cutting ties with like old negative energy. So they're trying to help you. Oh, they're trying to help you with a fresh start. I'm going to hide the pictures on this that are inappropriate. We have angel of guidance, a renewed sense of direction and purpose will soon manifest. And then we have God of spiritual healing. An aspect of you or a situation in your life is in need of healing. So I do feel like there's spiritual healing going on. And I can't show you the picture, but it's like this person, this one angel is like using hand healing to heal certain parts here of this other person. But I feel like that's all a metaphor, like angel of guidance, right? And I'm noticing the star on her head. So again, this is like intuition, third eye healing. You are going to have a renewed sense of direction and purpose. It's going to soon manifest. I feel like you're cutting the ties and like this, you're working through the last bit of like the brush, the brambles, the karmic blockages here. And you're seeing things clearly. Your vision is healing and relaxation will really help this. I'm hearing that endocrine system again, like yoga, relaxation, maybe yoga nidra here for some of you. Let go of desired outcomes and you will get what you want. Let go of desired outcomes and you will get what you want. That's a paradox, right? That's like a cone. Let go of it, release it, and you will get what you want. Angel of the universe, you are being encouraged to expand your thinking. This is a lot of like inner energy right now. Angel of addiction healing. This is a time of positive transformation and healing. It really is. So I'm hearing like, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid of this. Goddess of the shadows. You are the goddess of the shadows, honey. And I can't show you this picture because she got boobies. All right. But goddess of the shadows, what you perceive to be your dark side holds a hidden treasure. And isn't that just always true? That's why I call myself a shadow reader, is because I feel that it can be scary to explore your dark side, but it does explore hidden treasures. Don't be afraid of your shadow. Don't be afraid of your shadow, is what I'm hearing. Angel of expression, speak your truth and express yourself clearly. Start to apply what you already know and trust your intuition. So basically, I feel like your spirit team is gathered around you now. They're really around you. I'm hearing supportive. They're very supportive of this healing process. They have guided you every step of the way. And I'm hearing that quote from the Bible that says, where Jesus says, like, when you look back and saw only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you. So some of you might have felt alone in the wilderness, in the dark, but all of this was very divinely guided. I'm hearing you had to see what you had to see. You had to experience what you had to experience in order for you to be released from it, for this to not have any control over your mind or over your life anymore, to finally complete the cycle. And this is a cycle that, and I don't know what messages have already come through here, but because I'm so far ahead now, like with the messages, but there was one message that came out and it was talking about emotions and money potentially like being major components and variables into like this cycle of emotion, maybe with a karmic energy. This could be with even like your family. It's like this moon energy with family, with home, with emotions, with the mind, just around and around. And I feel like you're starting to see that or something, and like you're starting to clear that up. I'm hearing that's where it comes from. There's some kind of connection here between like money and emotions, worth, value, what's intuition and what isn't, like a neediness or feeling of like inadequacy or something here. But the real you is getting ready to emerge. And this is the chrysalis that you were baked in, or whatever it does. It's not, you didn't get baked in there, but you know, you turn to mush, and this is your chrysalis. This goo, this muck, this mire is the goo that you will arise from, and you are emerging new. It's time for the real you to emerge. Because I feel like somebody here like gets you in their head in order for to get what they want out of the situation, which is what, a backup plan and some kind of like other location, or I don't know, something. And they just tried to like wrangle you into their little web of machinations, and to corrupt your identity or something. And I'm being drawn to like family, emotions, money. Things could have been used to control you. And I just feel like you had to confront a boogeyman for like all of those things that were sent to kind of control you. Yeah, I'm going back to pile number 1 where I was seeing like the multiple moons, the cycles within a cycle. And I've been getting so many messages about a major cycle breaking. And I feel like it's like you had to confront a boogeyman that somehow bakes in. Maybe this was like the final boss, the final Bowser, you know, like at the end of the game, all wrapped up into one person, you know, that you thought you had some kind of divine connection with, or that was trying to get your attention, or seemed like they were serious and that they wanted like the traditional route of things, like a home and a family, vows, marriage, but really they were just kind of playing you for, yeah, this is the healing. Angels have felt your sadness and have shown up today to send you healing. So I feel like this could have made you very sad, but you are emerging. You are emerging. And you're going to self-express. And you probably look hot as hell. Like really hot, very creative. Yeah. Definitely. Okay, anything else? Yeah, piles 1 to 3 were like a continuation. A lot of times it does come out like that. Getting readings blocked. I feel like getting readings has helped you to block some kind of nefarious energy, and Spirit just wants you to know that they were with you the whole time. And all is forgiven with Spirit. Like if you feel like you lashed out at your guides or anything like in any way because like you just didn't want to hear it. I'm hearing But Daddy, I Love Him from Taylor Swift. Like it's okay. Spirit is, I'm hearing it's all a part of the journey home. Spirit knows that you're going to have these kind of reactions. Look, karmic ties, you gotta cut your karmic ties. There's some sort of shady jackass here. I feel like you're happy single, or you soon will be. Look, pop the question. Yeah. Married. Well, that's a progression, isn't it? Goodbye. Yeah, I feel like I just heard like the end of a cycle, the end of an era. So good job. I feel like you've just broken the back of a major cycle. I continue to get messages about that, but anything else, Spirit, that you want to say? Angry. It's okay to be angry. That's a part of the grieving process. Remember the 5 stages of grief? It's okay to feel angry. Anger can lead to calm. Don't demonize anger, right? Like, and that wasn't the point in pile number 2, to demonize anger. It's just knowing what to do with it when you kind of like feel that way. Anger can help you be more decisive. And I've said this in readings too, it's like, sometimes your anger is the only thing talking sense. Sometimes it is the clearest voice. Like when somebody's coming at you and you need to defend yourself, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to let the disgust build as well, that somebody would treat you in a certain way or behave a certain way, to break like your attraction to someone. It's okay to be direct. Yeah. Apathy is quiet and it's hurt, is what I'm getting. So somebody could have been very apathetic with you. And this is all about having an education, educating yourself about these kinds of energies, about our world. It's just further exploration is what I'm getting. Further exploration. These are energies that exist in our world. So I feel like that's it. That's what I have for this reading here. Because I honestly feel like I'm not supposed to push too much and give you too much information, because I can feel that you are already in a process. You're like really in a stream here where you have a lot to like chew on already in your process, and it's all working for you and not against you, and you're fully cooperating with it. I feel like if you're here in this energy and you're receiving a lot of guidance and help, I feel like you're seeing like maybe like your folly or your mistakes or things that were intentionally hidden from you. You're seeing all of that so clear. You're really putting things together that's going to continue to unfold. And I'm hearing just trust the process. And they're just telling me like they've got messages lined up to come out and to like assist you, all in good time. I just heard all in good time. And I'm seeing this, like, it's going to get really good. I feel like it's going to get really good. And I'm just hearing all in good time. Just We had to lead you out of the darkness for you to emerge and be your authentic self. And that authentic self is where you're going to manifest all the things that you've been wanting. But you had to clear your chakras. You had to face your demons and all these like evil dwarfs and stuff. You had to go through all of that because it's purged like your chakras, and now you can actually manifest from that pure place. And coming out of the woods, like on that other side, that's where you're actually going to find, like, I'm hearing the peace that passes all understanding, and your divine counterpart, and like your dharmic path. All those things lie on the other side of actually uncovering the real self. And now we're back to Ramana behind me. Who am I? That question of who am I will release you from all burdens. It will lead you to all truths. It will eventually peel back and back and back and back and back until it reveals the observer itself. And have patience with yourself. It's a process. It's a journey, not a sprint, you know? So life, the alchemy of life is working. I just heard the alchemy of life is working for you, child. And we hope and we pray and we know that you can see it now. That it's all, you've never not been on your path. You've never not, like, yeah, you had to confront some hard things. But I'm hearing it's sloppy theology when the ego tells you that you're off your path because something unpleasant is happening. That could be what you're confronting now, or what you're realizing, or what you're meant to realize. That when you were in the darkness and you were like, well, this shouldn't be happening. No, you can kind of see now how it was your path. Maybe it was warped. Maybe it was twisted. Yeah, you probably would prefer that you didn't have to go through it. But now that you're on the other side of it, you can kind of see that it had some kind of alchemical effect, you know? So we had to parlay with the dark universe, and all she is at our disposal. Yes. All right. So we have candles, and, you know, I feel like it's kind of perfect timing with these candles that I really did feel like divinely guided and divinely inspired to help craft these candles. I came to Alex and I was saying, look, everybody here is going through a major purging process. They are revealing the truth to themselves about so many things. They're cutting cords, they're purging. It comes through so readily and so often in the readings. And not only that, but I keep getting the message that this is a major karmic cycle and not just smaller karmic cycles. This is like many cycles. So I wanted to craft a candle, a ritual candle, our everyday magic candles, to just assist you with this process. And I really do. We've beefed this boy up, okay? And it's a limited edition. I have no idea if you guys are going to be interested in this or not. If you're not, it's okay, because I'll burn every single one of these that we don't sell. But if you are interested, this is a combination ritual candle of like on the back end, just for ourselves, we call it like truth serum, cord cutting, because you kind of have to know like the truth here. Janae, thank you so much for the super chat. So it is truth serum, revealing truth, so to help you process, to help you realize, to help you let go. Obviously be ready for the truth to enter your life, like if this is something that you want to use as a part of your process. And it also is assisting in that kind of cord cutting process. Keep in mind, you are the sentient being. You are like, this is just an intention. It's helping ground your intentions. And we have, you know, ritual oils and things that we've kind of like infused this in. So if you're interested, and it pairs so perfectly with this fresh start candle that we have honestly been working on for quite a while. And, well, let's just talk about how this smells, and then we'll talk about like kind of how I like to like use these. But this, it really is kind of that crisp, like fresh, almost like laundry scent. And Alex and I, we want to kind of stay away from that terminology because both of us, we're not really crazy about that kind of like laundered sort of smell. I would say that it's my least favorite candle. But this candle, I think, and I'm being dead serious about this, this candle, I think, is probably my new staple that I just always want lit around my house, because our other candles are really nice. They definitely are opinionated though. There's definitely a certain vibe or something that they're kind of trying to conjure. This really is like fresh house, like clean, crisp, like, and, you know, new beginning kind of thing. But it has a warmth to it as well. It's this kind of, there is like undertones of amber and vanilla that kind of warms it up. It's kind of that kind of cashmere sort of a feel. So it's very elegant. It's very elevated. And like I said, I don't usually like these kinds of scents. We did want to include this in our line, but if I thought this was trash, I would not include this. But this, I think, is my like staple one that I will always have lit around my house. And so whenever you make candles, there's something called a cold throw, which is basically this. Like, so when the candle is sat and it's like not lit, that's a cold throw. So you get one impression when you smell a candle like that. And it smells pretty good, honestly. The hot throw, which is when you light this, the hot throw of this candle is amazing. It's so good. Like when we were going through prototypes of this, like we lit this candle and Alex and I both were like, oh my God, this smells so good in here. We couldn't believe how much we liked it. So, we definitely have like these two to be used in tandem. And you guys kind of know, like I like to craft like the ritual candles, and then scent is so powerful, like in the brain. It evokes nostalgia, memories. It can kind of like put you in a mindset. And that's really what this is meant to do. This kind of like fresh start energy with the cord cutting truth serum special edition candle. I feel like this really packs a punch here together. And this is the candle I'm lighting in my house like right now currently. And there are like bundles here, because if you buy these two together, then with one of each of these, then I feel like there's a bit of a discount, right? Yeah. Okay. So
as usual, when we do a bundle, it's discounted to have both, to get one of each of the candles together in that bundle that's there.
Yeah.
And on top of that, both these new candles are also on sale for 10% off.
Cool. And as I hope you guys have come to expect from us, these are the candles that you can really feel good about. We use 100% soy wax. We've got the best wicks. A lot of times when you see candles that are advertised as being like cleaner or healthy, they kind of skimp out on the wicks. I don't know if I said wax or wicks, but the wicks are really positive here as well. And we use the cleanest scents that are available on the market to mix and to like craft these candles, because we just want you to feel like good. This shouldn't be like hurting you or anything like that. Also, these are scented candles are meant for the label. We have to sell them with the label on it. But the label is meant to come off so that you can just have this really beautiful vessel. It's just a really clean, crisp vessel that will really look nice and elevated and feminine in your decor. So this just comes right off. So you can get this, you can keep this. So you always know what's going on there. But yeah, and then we've got this ritual candle here as well. All of our ritual candles have a dusting of dragon's blood, which is a resin that magnifies intention, dusted right along the top there. So,
and it's infused in the candle as well.
And it's actually infused in the candle here as well, along with our like ritual oils and the workings that we've done over the candles. So I just want to make sure I got all this right. So we've now available, we've got the fresh start, the truth beam / cord cutting. We've got a bundle with one of each, and the new candles are 10% off, and all candles have a new lower price. Much lower. We have really been trying to figure out like how low we can get the price to where it still like makes sense for us. And so we have been able to drop the price of the candles just overall.
This way it doesn't have to be, putting things on like big crazy sales. It's just all of our candles are available at a much lower price, and so they should be much more accessible to.
Yeah. And I just want to read the actual fresh start thing. So it's light and clean, activating and reassuring. This candle echoes the refreshing coolness of a light seaside breeze, carrying the aroma of cashmere and fresh herbs, tenderly offering to bless your day. Like a serene reset in a jar, this obliging scent gently grounds and generously elevates. It has a soothing effect to help bring you back to your center so you can take on whatever is next. Treat yourself to a little bit of grace, because we all deserve a fresh start. And the fragrance notes in this candle, we have these are just like the notes: sandalwood, lavender, vanilla, spearmint, clove, and eucalyptus. And yeah. Yeah, the truth beam, cord cutting, cut through delusion and lay the truth bare. I'm not going to read these to you, but yeah, you can check out the website if you're interested, and you can get the pack. And yeah, because I feel like we're all going through a big purge. Aw, I want some birthday weekend. Nice. Potent energy, breaking of cycles. I feel like this is such a big cycle, and this is such an accomplishment for you to have broken this cycle. I keep getting that energy, and of course I'll always bring the message through because I just work here, but I feel like your guys are really proud of you. This was a big accomplishment to break this in this lifetime. It wasn't at all guaranteed. I actually feel like it maybe wasn't expected of you to kind of like put all these pieces together and break this as thoroughly and completely as you did, but you did. And I feel like your guides are really proud. Thank you, Leah. Just ordered both. So grateful for this gift of yours. And Alex, yay, I'm so glad. You said you really liked the Moonlit Beach too, didn't you? I love that one. That one's a good summer. If you're not into the fresh start, like the Moonlit Beach is another really good one. You love the last candle so much. Nice. Guess what my wish was? I do believe it's lifetimes. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's all we have. I'm going to go eat some food. I hope you guys will too. Thank you so much for spending your Friday with me, being a part of this little witchy hangout. And I hope you have a lovely, wonderful week. Of course, we got more messages coming out every single day. And I will hopefully see you guys next Friday. And thank you so much to everybody who supports me here on Patreon, buying our candles, making this wheel go round. And we will, again, revisit like the Patreon issues. But if you are a person who is having issues with Patreon, if you don't mind, like just you can leave us a note here on YouTube, because I just want to make sure that it's not this. Well, don't actually on YouTube. Well, I don't know. We will look into that. But like I said, Patreon really is the platform that, and it runs the platform. And I don't work for Patreon, and I don't have access to their back end, and I can't help you figure out your account. And I'm not meant to do those things. They're supposed to be doing those things, which is why they take a cut of every single thing that I make, is because they're supposed to handle all that stuff.
Yeah, I think honestly most of the confusion is around like the back catalog availability. That's really
okay.
Like the primary kind of confusion is folks not having access to that kind of
So just to clear that up, the $5 covers like for that month. Really, you have access to like 2 months we give you, just to make sure that there's like no overlap. But it's just because I produce so much content over there, and we just want to make sure that like people who are supporting me are like actually getting, what they're supporting, and that, I don't want it to feel like I'm being taken from or taken advantage of. And I also just want to honor the people that are supporting me. Like, it's evergreen readings every single month. $5. I've been told on multiple occasions that I do too much on Patreon, and that I miss the point of Patreon. People tell me that all the time, but I just there's 3 evergreen readings over there every single month, and a wonderful community. And thank you so much if you are over there supporting me. I hope that you love the little community we got going over there, because we do have a really good community of patron people over there.
And tomorrow we have a Patreon reading as well, a Patreon live stream. And we can also discuss maybe at the end of that live stream kind of like what is, what is available, and what like some of the new tiers are going to be like there.
And I mean, if you guys want there to be a tier where even if you're not an OG person, you have access to like the back catalogs of everything, we can try to figure out what that would be.
Yeah, let's discuss it further tomorrow.
Okay.
During the Patreon live stream.
So Patreon live stream tomorrow, same time, same place. Over on Patreon. And what's the thing tomorrow? You just told me.
I don't remember off the top of my head now.
Wait, I'm gonna get it. Dang. I don't know what it is, but it's gonna be good.
Messages from your guides.
Oh, messages from your guides. Yeah, so we'll do that one. Oh my gosh, and we kept saying today, like, your guide energy is, like, really, really around you right now. So, good. I'm excited to do that. And, yeah. Okay, I think that's all that I have to say about that. Again, thank you so much for your support and for being part of my little lifetime here. Okay, bye, guys.